Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm going to talk about the revival of the X-Men, the animated series, the 1997's X-Men, the animated series. Now this had been something, I said it before, I had made a video about, I believe I did, you know, sometimes I go back and I'm like, sometimes I'm not going to lie to you guys, just to keep you guys behind the camera, sometimes I make a video and then I think better of it and I'm like, I don't know. I don't really like how that video went, and then I just don't post it up. So maybe I did post up the rumor of an X-Men animated series reboot, but like I never thought that it was gonna happen because it feels like that had ended so long ago, and we have been so far past that. And you know, the Marvel just got the rights. You know, I mean, granted, Marvel never needed the rights to do this. They could have done it at any time because they own the rights, the TV rights to basically all the things. That's how they're able to do another, that Spider-Man show. They could have done that Spider-Man show without Sony. You know what I mean? But the X-Men 1997 animated series being rebooted it's a big deal. Like I said, it's the equivalent of if DC had come out and said they're reviving the old school Batman 90s animated cartoon series. Like, it would be a big fucking deal. I mean, all the actors, at least the actors that really, really super matter, you know, which is Mark Hamill and, damn it, you know his name. Kevin Conroy, yeah. Is it Conroy? I think it's Conroy. Whatever. I know who I'm talking about. The two guys, the guy who voiced Batman and the guy who voiced the Joker. As long as you got those two, you could easily revive it if you wanted to. But that's the equivalent because this show is on par with that show. My opinion, I liked it a tiny bit better because it was a little less dark. Just a little less dark. But and then, you know, and of course when Disney Plus first came out, one of the first things that was trending after The Mandalorian, it was the X-Men the animated series. Like people were going back. Some people were watching it who had never seen it before. I was even going back and I was watching it myself. Because it's been a while since I had seen it, and I'm watching it myself, and you know, so other people are watching it, and I'm just kind of sitting here watching this thing, and I'm like, this is some good stuff. I only had a couple problems with the show, honestly. Like when I was rewatching it, the only problem I had is it was so kidified. It's because like as hardcore as it is, there are certain aspects because there are certain things that they couldn't do back in the day. For instance, back in the day, I don't know if you guys know this, but back in the 90s, there were like guidelines for comic books. Not comic book, cartoons in general. Like, you couldn't show people punching people. I don't know if you guys know this. Like, it was a crazy thing. And, on certain channels, like Cartoon Network and, you know, like certain things like that, they could not show people punching people. Like, these superheroes punching people. That's why if you look at Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man movie, you look at some of those 90 movies, the 90 shows, you don't see them punching people. And rewatching the X-Men, the animated series, you see it a lot where it's just like, dude, wouldn't it make more sense just to punch this guy? And since you can't punch, and you know, the animation is a bit rough, especially it was great at the time, but for today's standards, it's a bit rough. But there are certain aspects of the show that was hindered by these things that were holding them back. Especially the whole love triangle between Wolverine and Cyclops, which looking at the animated series, honestly looking back, I was a bit disappointed in because clearly they didn't want to go too far with it. Like, they didn't have to have them have sex or anything crazy like that, but they could have made it a little more complicated. They just showed a shade. They just kind of made Wolverine look he's in love with her and she's kind of into him, but they don't really play it up anymore, play it up much because they're like, well, we can't do that because that might be a bit, you know, we don't want to show that. So I'm hoping with the revival they can fix all of the issues that plagued the OG show. Now that you can have people because they got a lot of they got the original people who helped create it, who worked on it. Some of them are actually working on it, and some of them are consultants on it. But they're there, you know, working hand in hand with the new people on this. They're getting the majority, not all, because you know some people passed away, some people they couldn't get, or you know they're done doing this, but they're getting the majority of the OG cast back. I am so curious how they're gonna do the animation, because if you update it too much, it won't have the nostalgic to it anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how that works with animation, because you look at Toy Story. You look at Toy Story 1, you look at Toy Story 4, the animation quality is so insane. But it's not watch Toy Story 1 and then you watch Toy Story 4 and you go, this is betrayal. The animation doesn't even look right. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because the years that you spent, you kind of slowly saw the animation getting better. But I'm not sure if you can go from, hey, watching that old one and then go, all right, we'll just watch the, we'll just watch the new one. It's like, I'm not sure. Maybe they should come up, maybe they should, do what they do, because recently they released IMAX versions of like 13 of the MCU films on Disney Plus. And I didn't think it was a difference, and then I was like messing with it, and I was like, oh, there is a difference. It's just the black bar is gone. I was like, oh, that's okay, all right, yep, there is a difference. But I'm like, so maybe I should release versions. Maybe I should go back in and reanimate it. Just keep everything the same, but just reanimate it to fit the new animation that they're doing for the, for continuing it, and then just leave in the versions, like, you can either watch the OG version with the OG animation, or you can watch the new version with the update animation, so that way you can just watch all the way through. Because I do think if the animation is too different, at least too far, at least too new from the old 90s animation, that it might throw people off who are like, oh cool, that's cool, I'll rewatch the show now. And you watch it, like it, get to the new shit, and you're like, whoa, this animation is way different. I mean, granted, shows have been doing that for years, shows have gotten away with that for years, but it's so gradual, you know what I mean? I don't know if someone watching it is gonna just, whoa, that feels like a different show. But I'm excited for this, and honestly, it's one of those things that you never know. I never saw it coming. Like, honestly, even when I made the video, even when I was talking about it, I was just like, that just seems too good to be true, that you would revive this. Because how many of us fans are sitting around just dreaming about things that we want to get revived, shows we want to see get revived? Ideas. I mean, hell, I started watching Hannibal lately, and I'm just sitting here like, damn, I'm sad this show ended. I'm watching other things, and I'm like, damn, I'm sad this show got canceled. How many shows have ended, and we want more from them that we don't get. And like, to have one like of this caliber, of this scale, get revived, it's a big deal, and it's a win for Disney. On the sad part, we're not gonna see it until 2023, hopefully early 2023. So that's on the sad part. Actually, most of this animation stuff you're not going to see until 2023. Most of it, because animation takes time, and clearly some of these they didn't know they were going to do, until later in the game. But I'm excited for this, and honestly, this does bode well for other things getting revived. And I know some people who are with me, really want to see Earth's Mightiest Heroes get revived. I loved Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was incredible. I dug the hell out of it. Now, curiously, since they're reviving the X-Men animated series and continuing it, a lot of the characters, because if people don't know this, some people don't, some people do. Like, if you've been on Disney Plus, back in the 90s, they had a mini animated universe going. They had an Iron Man show, a Fantastic Four show, a Hulk show, X-Men, and Spider-Man show. All these animated shows were running in the same universe, and they would interact with each other. And it would be curious to see if they can spin off, if they can bring those characters back on and do something with them. I highly doubt they'll revive the old school 90s Spider-Man animated series. I love that Spider-Man animated series, but I highly doubt they'll revive it because they're doing another Spider-Man thing. Do you want to have two Spider-Man shows running concurrently? Though I've always wished and hoped and prayed that Kevin Feige would just get one of his closest, get someone he's been grooming and be like, hey, I want you to create your own cinematic universe in the animation world, and if you do great here, you can take my job. I've always wanted another shot at the Marvel animated universe. Honestly, I want that one on DC and Marvel. I wish both DC and Marvel would commit to doing something like that. I really want it again, because there's just so much you can do with it, and the old 90s one didn't work. It didn't work because not all the shows were made equal. It was basically X-Men and Spider-Man and all other shows. and then all the other shows. I tried to watch the animated Fantastic Four. That theme song's awful. I mean, Iron Man isn't terrible, but it's just, I don't know, what the fuck was it? Because you watched the fucking X-Men and you watched Spider-Man, it's these are of totally different qualities than those other shows. I don't get it. What was going on in the 90s? Is someone not like those other shows or something? Either way, I'm excited for this. Gives us hope for other shows to get revived. Maybe even revive the animated animated Spider-Man universe. Who knows? And we still don't know some other details. But either way, I'm excited for this. What do you guys think about the X-Men 97, the 1997 X-Men the animated series getting a revival? This show is iconic. The theme song is iconic. The costumes. This show turned the X-Men from the X-Men to a household name. Not the comics. This show did that. This show did for them what the Batman the Animated Series did for Batman. And I know I got a lot of people who love X-Men Evolution in the comment section, because I know in the comment section. But I dig X-Men Evolution. It don't got the same staying power as the OG X-Men the Animated Series. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show again. Please remember to like, subscribe. See you in the next one. Goodbye.